A medical marijuana bill made headlines last year. In March of 2020, the Alabama Senate approved the Compassion Act in a 22-11 vote. But coronavirus brought everything to an early stop. Now an updated version of that bill is on the table. Our Cindy Stallworth tells us why some local activists say this bill is shedding light on big issues here in the Valley.
An Alabama bill that could potentially legalize the use of medical marijuana is on its way to the Senate floor, but some Huntsville groups still have an issue with the way marijuana possession laws are being enforced right here in Madison County, and they laid out those issues in a letter sent 1 year ago.
One of the reasons we felt compelled to send the letter was the research done by Alabama Appleseed that showed that here in Huntsville, in Madison County, that you are 11 times more likely to be arrested for marijuana if you're black than if you're white, even though usage rates are the same.
We looked into the Alabama Appleseed study, which was done in partnership with the Southern Poverty Law Center. At the time the letter was written to Madison County leaders, the latest data was from 2016. The study finds in at least 7 law enforcement jurisdictions in Alabama, black people were 10 or more times as likely as white people to be arrested for marijuana possession. Huntsville is one of these jurisdictions.
So I don't really think they have a full grasp of the issue.
United Women of Color is one of the more than 20 organizations that signed the 2020 letter calling for Madison County leaders to, quote, stop arresting people for cannabis possession and likewise drop all charges related to cannabis possession to help improve public safety and ease racial disparities in policing.
There was not really a response, like they still have not met with Tennessee Valley Progressive Alliance.
Senate Bill 46, also called the Compassion Act, was approved by a Senate committee this week. It calls for the creation of an Alabama Medical Cannabis Commission made up of 11 people to license growers, regulate protocols, and oversee the distribution of medical marijuana cards. To qualify for the program, patients would have to be diagnosed with a condition that falls under an approved list. But the bill bans the use of raw cannabis, smoking, vaping, and candy or baked good products. That, Hereford says, creates room for discrimination.
I do think that it could be an issue, and I think that this bill really protects a select few because of that reason rather than all the people that it should protect.
We understand that these low-level offenses prevent people from getting the type of jobs that a lot of people move to Huntsville to aspire to obtain.
The bill still has a way to go. It's headed to the Senate floor. If approved, it'll then go to the House. But of course, to become law, it has to be approved by both chambers and then signed by the governor. Putting the Valley first, I'm Cindy Stallworth, WZDX News.